Zero votes. I asked Pat what it means. She said, well, they have counted through all the meetings. Oh, that's it wasn't. No, it's just have hopefully a year.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Russ Engelhardt. I'm the city's acting city manager, and I'd like to welcome you to the city of East Palo Alto and to our 10th anniversary celebration. We're going to move quite swiftly through the program, and instead of me making welcoming remarks, I'm going to call up Councilmember Rose Jacobs Gibson to make the welcoming remarks to everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
East Palo Alto is a city with an interesting and very colorful history. And today, July 7th, 1993, mark another historical day. Today, we're celebrating our 10th anniversary of East Palo Alto's incorporation and cityhood. And I'm delighted that all of you are here to share this very special occasion with us. And on behalf of our Mayor, Sharifa Wilson, Vice Mayor Bill Vines, who's standing over there, Council Member R.B. Jones, the city staff of East Palo Alto, and myself. Welcome to East Palo Alto, to our 10th anniversary celebration, and to the State of the City address. And we're going to acknowledge all the wonderful special guests that we have with us later in the program. And so we can swiftly move through our program, I'm going to now introduce you to someone very special to me, whom I have grown to know and to love. I have the distinct privilege of doing so by introducing her. She is our speaker of the hour. She's a woman who's doing great things while the city is really on the move. She was elected to the city council in 1990 after serving on numerous committees and commissions and task forces and other organizations throughout the city. She has lived in the community for less than 15 years, I believe. She's committed to East Palo Alto. She's as committed to East Palo Alto as those of us who graduated from Raysville High School. And we didn't think that was possible. She gives endless hours and energy, much energy, and she's truly a full-time servant to the city of East Palo Alto. She's committed to a better quality of life for all citizens of East Palo Alto. And she is a city council choice for mayor. We appointed her mayor in 1992. She's made us, all of us, proud. We love her, we admire her, and we support her. She represents us admirably. And she has a vision for East Palo Alto. She has a special heartbeat for our youth. She's a woman of integrity. She's a woman with enough guts to fight for what's right. There's a quote that says very appropriately, a manager does what's right, but a leader does the right things. Sharifa is a leader. She believes in doing the right things. May I introduce to some and present to others the mayor of the city of East Palo Alto on our 10th anniversary, Mayor Sharifa Wilson.
Those of you that know me, I'm usually not nervous, but I am tonight. East Palo Alto is a city on the move. That's the theme that we chose for this summer's recreation program. When thinking about it, it occurred to me that that really reflects the posture of this city council. My colleagues and I have been spending the last 8 months working together to improve the quality of life in this community. We are moving together, each of us contributing long amounts of time and energy to the job. We are coming together to dialogue and build consensus around issues that are critical to this city. We're committed to supporting those efforts which have measurable results. As your elected officials, we recognize our responsibility. That responsibility is to create opportunity which our residents can take advantage of. The work of the council is truly that of a team. And it is with that spirit that I would like to acknowledge my other council members and ask them to come up front. Vice Mayor Bill Vines, Council Member Rose Jacobs Gibson, and Council Member R.B. Jones. East Palo Alto, a city on the move. The theme is one that sends a message that things are and will happen here. East Palo Alto is moving towards the future. This city has a long history, and we must not forget or negate that history, for it is important that we learn from that history. In that spirit, following my address, we will be honoring members of the council who served over these past 10 years. Regardless of the politics, we would like to recognize the sacrifice of time required to fulfill the responsibilities of serving as a council member. While we acknowledge the past and look for lessons from the past, we must not dwell in the past. We must not allow ourselves to become so entangled in the past that it puts us at a standstill. Tonight, I will share with you where we are, what's going on, and some of the opportunities for our future. I hope that the residents here will continue to be supportive of this city council by contributing their ideas, suggestions, and energy, both in the council meetings and on boards and commissions. Our strongest desire is to put in place the mechanisms which will allow you to benefit from those opportunities which will come to fruition. For the worth of a city, in the long run, is the worth of the individuals composing it. There is no question that there is a need for a strong tax base from which this city can provide services to the residents. No one disputes that. The question is, how do we build that tax base? Do we rely on outsiders, large companies? Why can't we do it ourselves? Our challenge is to balance those concerns. In this year of 1993, all around the United States, cities and towns are facing economic hardships. The unemployment rate is going up. California recently has been hit by the closing of several military bases. The state budget is suffering. The county finds itself strapped for funds. This is truly not a time of prosperity for any of us. East Palo Alto faces those same challenges. Our budget is bare bones. We remain in debt, a debt which has been carried over several years. The challenge that this council faces is to provide services for an ever-increasing population while not increasing spending or the debt. We must look to reducing the debt while trying to find funds to pay for costs that are shifted to the cities by the county and the state. It is clear that over the next several years, there will continue to be a shifting of these expenses to cities. If we are to be around in the next century, we must identify ways to become fiscally sound. We must increase our revenues. We must not only identify ways, but more importantly, we must take the steps needed to access those revenues. The very survival of our city depends on it. A city's fiscal strength comes from taxes associated with property and businesses. Property and sales tax, those are the two main sources of revenues. The city's ability to increase property tax is limited by state law, but the city's potential for sales tax is not limited. Sales taxes represent a significant opportunity to increase revenue for this city. But how do we do that? East Palo Alto has some advantages and some disadvantages when it comes to finding ways to increase the sales tax revenue and thereby increase city revenues. One advantage is the fact that we have vacant and underutilized land. We have space for businesses to locate and grow. Our city provides opportunity for the wise business person who wants to come into an area not saturated with the competition. Our city provides opportunities for entrepreneurial ventures. Another advantage is that there is great consumer potential here. Market studies show that there is over a $12 million sales tax leakage from our city annually. The potential to keep these dollars within these borders is real. These facts give us hope. These are the assets to attract businesses and thus sales taxes for the city's use. The responsibility of this council is to maximize that asset, to get the most out of it. In order for us to do this, we must be realists. We must face facts. We must not turn a deaf ear or a blind eye to the realities before us. We must look clearly at the situation and plan ways to address the challenges. Facing our problems does not mean pointing the blame. If your house is on fire, you don't stand around asking whether the fire started from inside or out. You make an effort to put it out. One of the major disadvantages that this city faces is the reputation and the perception that this community of East Palo Alto is one where crime is out of control and tolerated. East Palo Alto had the morbid distinction of becoming the homicide capital of the United States in 1992. Our streets were cluttered with cars and litter. Our yards became dumping fields. Our streets were strip malls for drug dealers. Our challenge as a council was to face that issue, as it provides the biggest hurdle for us to overcome. As well, we have an obligation to the residents of this community to provide them with a safe community where their children could walk and play in streets without fear of gunfire. We knew that public safety was the first most critical issue we needed to address, and we challenged ourselves to reduce crime by 50% by the end of the year. Each of us played a role in formulating the strategy to reduce the level of crime in the city. Each of us played a role in networking with supervisors, law enforcement experts, elected officials, and others who could assist us in reducing the level of criminal activities on our streets. Our citizens were pleading and demanding some action to reduce the homicide rate and the overall level of crime in the city. We sat down with the cities of Palo Alto and Menlo Park, first through their mayors, Jean McGowan and Gail Slocum, and identified our needs. Both these women have been instrumental in galvanizing the support of their fellow council members, and I thank them both. This type of communication and recognition of the interdependency that our cities have between us resulted in additional support for East Palo Alto. Our willingness to work together has been supported by San Mateo County and now by the state of California. As a result of those efforts over the past several months, we have seen a significant decrease in our homicide rate. While our goal is to have no homicides, we are relieved to say that we only have 3 this year. Tonight, I am pleased to say that overall crime is significantly down in the city of East Palo Alto. Even though the council has received some criticism for seeking and accepting this type of support, I will say that most citizens are pleased. We have had any number of citizens come up to us and express support. Families in our communities community are beginning to feel less like prisoners in their own homes. Parents and children are taking walks around their neighborhoods. Children are playing in their front yards again. And as Dorian Brown said, we can hear the birds again. This was a calm 4th of July this past weekend. Residents were appreciative of being able to socialize in the community without the disruption of gunfire. We know that there are some issues which need to be addressed around cultural sensitivity. We are working on ways to address them. Our police department is becoming more active in its minority recruitment program. We look to the future where every level of government is reflective of the citizenry of this community. We have begun our community policing program. Officer Russ Thurman has become very active in the community, meeting with groups of neighbors and block clubs, providing information and advice. We know that the support of the law enforcement agencies from our neighbors, the county, and the state and the federal government will not last forever. It is our goal that when the support leaves, the need for it will also be eliminated. We are looking at those factors which contribute to the conditions and are developing solutions. The council understands the need to invest in human beings. Most of the conditions of this community that this community suffers from can be attributed to poverty. It's real interesting to see recently that experts from around the country are finally recognizing the impact of poverty on families. Those of us that live in cities like East Palo Alto have known that for quite some time. Our goal is to eliminate poverty through employment and economic development. We must provide institutional changes to decrease the level of poverty in the city. We understand that we must take the tools available to this municipality and have those tools used to change and improve the conditions for the people of this city. We have begun a dialogue with the San Mateo County Central Labor Council, OICW, Bayshore Employment, Caltrans, and the California State Department of Employment to map out a plan for the establishment of a trades job training center here in East Palo Alto. We must anticipate the employment needs of this city and beyond and design our training programs to meet those needs. For cities can be formed, but they're kept alive by the fact that they have a program for tomorrow. Some efforts are already underway. The council has accepted support from the philanthropic community for job training opportunities. A $100,000 scholarship fund has been made available for job training of East Palo Alto residents in aspects of retail market. Such efforts like these are welcomed and appreciated. The support that we've received from the foundation community has been given in many areas. Our police department has received cars, equipment, and support for training. This summer, we have a 10-week recreation program serving children 5 through 19. This is the shirt that we have for our East Palo Alto Rainbow Summer Camp, and this is our theme, East Palo Alto, a city on the move. Thanks again to our foundation friends and the cities of Palo Alto, Menlo Park, and San Mateo County, and Stanford University. We have been able to raise close to $200,000 for this summer's recreation program. The council recognizes that ultimately it is by providing for the needs of our children where we will be most effective. Thanks to our grant writing team, we are submitting applications for funds available through the federal government, which will be used to establish an in-school anti-drug program. By working together with the Ravenswood Elementary School District, an array of activities which can nurture our children will be made available. Our grant writing team is monitoring funds made available from the state, the federal, the corporate, and the foundation community. Their efforts will be very helpful in acquiring those funds which we can use to help support the programs of this city. Some of the funds that they are seeking are presently going to more affluent communities who have much less of a need than ours. To allow these funds, which we are eligible for, to go to other communities does our residents a disservice. Just think, if we had not applied for and accepted grants, we would not have a senior center. For all the funds that were used to build that facility were grant funds. The team works with volunteers from within and outside of this community, and they are to be thanked for taking the time to help us make a change in the city. Our citizens should also be thanked for joining in the effort to clean up East Palo Alto. If you ride around town, you will notice a difference, a cleaner city. Although there are still some bugs to work out in the system and some adjustments which need to be made, we find that the program has been very effective. We hope that the residents will, in the long run, understand the necessity and the significance of the cleanup campaign. Aside from the health and safety issues, the appearance of a community is a factor in any economic development program. Last week, we received a call from the California Department of Trade and Commerce asking for a tour of East Palo Alto. This state agency wants to bring in several business people who are looking for a place in California to relocate. One of the factors used in considering a new location is the general appearance and the aspirations of the community. If we are to compete in this market, we must put our best face forward. The appearance of the community is totally in our hands. Each of us can do our part by maintaining the areas around our residents. We can also help by volunteering when the city is doing public works projects. All across this country, residents are pitching in to help their cities, and I believe that the people of this community have that same sort of spirit. The council is working together. We need your support. While we have peace on our streets, let's pull together and keep it that way. All around this community, there's a new sense of energy. The council is in the process of identifying a company to oversee the planned street reconstruction projects slated for the Palo Alto Park area. The funds for these street repairs has actually been in the budget over 2 years, but it is the determination of this council that those funds will this year be used to improve the quality of streets in this city. Our parks are looking better. This weekend, playground equipment will be installed at the Bell Street Park. Funds have been made available through San Mateo County to hire a consultant team to develop a proposal for a comprehensive recreational facility here in East Palo Alto. As we face the next half of '93 and move into '94, it is our hope that more progress will become evident in the city. We are working towards breaking ground on a replacement housing project sometime this year. We will continue our efforts to bring in and improve businesses in the city. We need your continued support. In the next few months, the citizens of this community will be having a special election. Not only will you be choosing a council member, but you may well be asked to consider an extension of the Measure A parcel tax. At a time when most elected officials are reluctant to put their political necks on the line, this council faces its most serious challenge, having to face our constituents with a request to tax ourselves. The parcel tax of $175, which was enacted in 1989, has been used to support the efforts of our police department and reduce the debt. The $900,000 it raises has been the salvation of our police department. We cannot afford to lose those dollars from the budget. We hope that the residents of this community will recognize the progress that we're making and support those efforts by an extension of that tax. As important will be your selection of a resident to fill the vacant council seat. As you consider who to give your support to, I will ask you to choose a person who is and wants to be a team player, a consensus builder, and a person who will work hard for you. There are still many challenges before us and much work to be done. This council is committed to facing those challenges. You have given us that responsibility, and we have accepted it. We ask that you provide us with a person who can complement this team with skills and competency. We sit now with a tremendous amount of support from our neighboring cities, our county, and our state. This window of opportunity will not be open forever. We must be sure that the opportunities that we have now result in long-term improvement in the city. We have presented the state with a list of ways that we think they can help us. At the next scheduled meeting, we will know which ones are a go and which ones are no. Your council will continue to communicate your interests and concerns to those who can assist us. We will continue to listen and to advocate for our residents. We will continue to work to improve the state of our city. As your mayor, I will continue to support those efforts to make this a better place for everyone. I will continue to meet and network with those who want to join our efforts towards progress. We are moving. We have unprecedented support from the state, the county, the feds, and neighboring cities. We have the support of others, but we cannot depend on that support alone. Most importantly, we need the support of our residents. Let's show by our actions that we can survive as a city. This is your city, and together we can make it a better place. East Palo Alto is a city on the move. I won't pretend that it's better than it is. I can say that it's better than it was, and I can also say that with your continued support, it will be better yet. Thank you.
Now it's time in the program to recognize former members of the City Council, and I would like to call on the mayor to present a plaque in recognition of the former members of the City Council. First, I'd like to call former Mayor Barbara A. Mouton.
Before I present this plaque, those of you that are from this community and have known of my involvement know that I would not be here doing this if it were not for Barbara Mouton. She has been my mentor and has been a tremendous amount of support to me, and I am very honored to be able to present her with this plaque. James E. Blakey. In recognition of valuable service on the City Council and other outstanding contributions made during East Palo Alto's first 10 years of incorporation, we present you with this plaque.
Madam Mayor, I would like to I was designated from my church to donate $100 to this affair tonight. So I'd like to present this to you.
Check, please. We'd also like to recognize our senior council member. Bill Vines has served on the council a complete term and is back again and doing a wonderful job. Okay, the other members are not here. Would like to recognize them. Ruben Abrika, Nevada Butler, Warnell Coates, Dr. Omawali Satterwhite, John Bostic, and Pat Johnson. Oh, I'm sorry, Pat Johnson and Gertrude Wilkes.
At this time, we would like to call on any other cities that would like to present proclamations, resolutions, or other official documents to the city.
I'm Gail Slocum, the mayor of Menlo Park.
From the city of Belmont, Vice Mayor Pam Rianda. And in addition, we received a letter of congratulations addressed to the mayor and city council members from Congressman Tom Lantos.
We went into all of the courts, the Superior Court, the California Supreme Court, even went up to the United States Supreme Court. That person is here, and it's Mrs. Carmelita Oates. That's right.
City School District, Mr. Mary Walker.
All right.
Donna Rutherford.
All right.
From Sequoia High School District, Beverly Scott. I'd like to acknowledge J.T. Turner, our planning commissioner. And I'd like to ask and for those of you who, our librarian. I'd like to thank Carmen and Trevor Burrows, the East Palo Alto, I guess he's the newest member of our staff. Peter Nicolo, our code enforcement officer. He's joining today, Sharifa.
Can you stand in front of this?
surfaces here, huh? Aren't you?
It's me. Can I get by there?
Okay, wait a minute, honey, wait a minute.